I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you please start with a roll call?
Council President Albertson.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera. Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Print.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
And Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
All right, thank you. Tonight we are going to start off with a proclamation celebrating Lunar New Year's.
A proclamation. Whereas the traditional Lunar New Year celebration, also known as the Spring Festival, dates back as early as the 14th century BC, and whereas 2025 is the year of the snake, symbolizing transformation, wisdom, and intuition, and whereas Lunar New Year is a time for traditions, family reunions, and hopes for good fortune in the coming year. And whereas Renton joins communities across China, Vietnam, the Philippines, South Korea, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Japan, and more as Asian communities gather to celebrate this time with their families and friends. Whereas the city of Renton, recognized as the 16th most diverse city in the nation, is home to many Asian families who have contributed to Renton's rich cultural diversity, economic success, and who share the deep-rooted traditions with their neighbors in the greater Renton community. And now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim this week to be a celebration of Lunar New Year in the City of Renton. And I encourage all residents to join me in this special observance. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand to cause the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 27th day of January 2025, signed Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Van.
I move that the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Van, seconded by Councilmember Albertson, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight we have a very special person here going to receive the proclamation, Lily Tian.
Well, thank you so much. It is my honor to accept the proclamation on behalf of my community. And I really want to give a truly and deeply appreciation for everybody accepting this. Part of this celebration is just like Christmas. It's about friends and families and love. And when I moved here, I never really have experience to celebrate Chinese New Year because I was the first generation of immigrant. I don't know where to find my chopsticks, so I have to use fork. And I don't know where to buy my dumpling wrap because we don't have much access. And now, with everybody celebrating our holiday, and we can have an easy access, such as go to Vietnam, I can buy my dumpling wraps. If you want to go join all the festival, you can go to, a lot of community centers. This is great. This is what America is about. We can gather everybody here. It's just simply to just share love to friends and family. So thank you so much for giving this a proclamation, and Happy New Year.
All right, thank you. And now we're going to take a picture, and I'm going to invite Tony and Duke and everybody up. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Bonnie.
I want to make you get sweet nothing back here.
I'm not gonna be.
Here. Mayor?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes, Councilmember Van.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members, and special thank you to Council President Albertson for putting on the agenda and celebrating Lunar New Year. It's important, just like with every other New Year, we have a community, or actually communities celebrating Lunar New Year. And I remember the historic 2020 proclamation that brought this room filled with a whole bunch of community members in colorful clothing. And I think it's important to continue the tradition of inclusion and given the current climate. So very much appreciate everyone.
All right, thank you. All right, we're moving on. Next is the administrative report.
Good evening. An enchanted night of family fun and memories await you at this year's Moonlight Masquerade, the Parks and Recreation Department's annual winter family dance. The event will be hosted at the Renton Community Center Friday, February 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Ages 3 and up are invited to dance to your favorite tunes, strike a pose at the photo booth, enjoy some light refreshments, and take home a special keepsake. Cost for Renton residents is $15 and non-residents is $18. Pre-registration is required for each attendee and may be done by visiting the Community Events tab on our website at rentonwa.gov/register. Save the date. Mayor Pavone's annual State of the City address is scheduled for Wednesday, March 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Hyatt Lake, Washington. Watch for more information coming soon. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting, and unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open. That's all, sir.
All right, thank you. And next up is audience comment. We do have a few people signed up and one person signed up to speak virtually. I want to remind everyone that all remarks must be addressed to the council as a whole. And if a response is requested, please provide your name and address, including email address. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. There's a timer and a light. When the light turns yellow, your time is almost up, and please wrap up your comments. And the first speaker tonight is Kathy Matthew.
Mr. Mayor and Council. I am Kathy Matthew. Jim and I live on the 200 block of Garden Avenue North. We have multiple concerns about the Logan 6 project. Foremost, the traffic issues of this project will cause for all of the North Renton neighborhoods. Planning to have this complex exit onto North 3rd and North 4th is inconceivable. The traffic's already a problem on these two streets, especially between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock on the weekdays. We can hardly get from our street out onto 3rd Avenue. It's just bumper to bumper. The project is not a fit, we feel, for the neighborhood style of homes. The property values for those living on Burnett Street will be greatly affected by this project. Parking around the area will become a daily nightmare. The project managers in the city need to make an effort to consider the North Renton neighborhood and its community lifestyle. With Satori School open, younger families are returning to this neighborhood. The children's safety to walk to school needs to be a priority. The impact to the surrounding area will make the lives of those of us that live in North Renton challenging at the very least. We would hope this project would be reconsidered. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Gabe Jones.
Howdy, folks. My name is Gabriel Jones, here today to talk about Maple Valley Road, especially by the classics. I'm not sure if you guys have passed by there recently or driven by there, but I live right by there, so I see accidents there. It feels like all the time, constant accidents because you right when you're getting off 405, high rate of speeds there. I also, because my car was stolen, I take my bike everywhere I go. And if you walk by there, it feels like a risk every time because people are moving incredibly fast speeds, and you are seeing accidents there all the time where you've seen multiple people drive over the barriers and almost into the river. It happens super consistently, and I would love to see options we can take to see about traffic calming or just increase patrols there. I think it's something that's really important, especially with how many accidents we've already, like one of the first accidents this year was there. It's been pretty rough, and I think that's something that's really important. And then other thing I wanted to bring up was very excited about Lunar New Year. I think that's awesome. I love to see all the holidays we celebrate here. I think it's really important with all the backgrounds we have, all the different types of people we have here. I'm very proud to be a part of I'm very proud to be a part of this wonderful city. I'm very glad to help out where I can, and I'm very glad to help out with the city for a long, long time. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Next up is Mark Devos.
Greetings. My name is Mark, and I live in North Renton, and many of our neighbors have concerns about the Logan 6 project. My understanding about it is that it's going to be a 100-unit building with light retail in the bottom, and as proposed, it's going to have one parking space per unit, which many of us are concerned that is not adequate parking for such a sized building, especially when you add in people who might be shopping there, as well as visitors visiting people who live there. In addition to that, I guess many of the units will be 2 and 3 bedroom. So that's all the more people who would be using that building. And most definitely, I think parking is going to end up overflowing into the neighborhood where it's already limited resources as far as parking. There are concerns about the entrances being on North 3rd Street and North 4th Street. Part of that, I think, has to do with site distance. There's not a lot of distance on those ends of the block. And it might be safer if they had an entrance and egress on Logan, where you have a longer sight distance and it's a lot straighter. Another thing I wanted to bring up was Renton High School. A lot of people I've talked to who haven't been to the North Renton Neighborhood Association meetings are still unaware that Renton High School wants to expand. And Renton High School, if they do so, are going to take out, my understanding, like 40 or more businesses and homes, which I feel really bad for those people because that's their American dream. And I think it should always be with a lot of caution, heavy heart whenever eminent domain is used to take people's property. And when I looked at the reasons for expanding the high school, well, actually we had somebody come and they gave a presentation and they said, among other things, that the high school was so old that it was just not economical to do retrofits or whatever kind of fix up they needed. They mentioned the need for a ball field of some kind. But one of the things they mentioned was the students felt it wasn't inspiring to be at Renton High School because of its age, and they felt like it was not on par with some of the other high schools because it's not as big, and that they just didn't feel like it was something to be proud of, which I just, quite frankly, I don't think that's a real strong reason to take people's homes. I mean, I went to high school, and a lot of the classrooms I was in had no windows. We were in portables, and I don't think any of us felt like we had low self-esteem keeping us from learning. Finally, I want to mention Park 6. To me, when I drive by there, it still looks very vulnerable. Like there's inadequate security measures keeping people out. And it's one of these things where I hate to use the adage, but it's like you can put a man on the moon, but you can't secure a building. If it was up to me, I might take that building and create a big no man's land around it, put a huge fence up, fill it full of concertina wire between that fence and the building, put one entrance with several gates, and anybody caught trying to get in there is subject to immediate arrest. Oh, I do have, pardon me, one more thing. On a lighter note, some of my neighbors and I, we want to go around our neighborhood and pick up garbage and pick up trash. I spent an hour yesterday picking up trash just on my block and ended up filling a large grocery bag with trash, which isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's a whole lot in our garbage can. And so we were wondering if maybe you might consider coming up with some kind of a program for residences who pick up trash in the neighborhood to be able to dispose of the trash. Because if I do this several days, we won't have anything to put our own garbage in. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Right, I believe we have one person signed up virtually. Yes.
We do have one person signed up to speak. That is Margaret Adamski. However, I don't have anyone logged in with under that name.
Okay. Thank you. We are going to move on to the consent agenda. There are 9 items for council consideration. Are there any you'd like pulled for separate discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
hearing none, I move to approve the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Albertson, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the consent agenda as published. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We're on to unfinished business. Council President Albertson.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Rivera.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee has one report to present.
Okay, Finance Committee report. Approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves the following payments. Accounts payable, total payment of $9,650,690.90 for a number of vouchers, payroll benefit withholding vouchers, and 0 wire transfers. 2 is payroll, total payment of $2,079,601.14 for payroll vouchers, including 664 direct deposits and 6 checks. This is the December 16th through 31st pay period. And then 3rd is Kidder Matthews vouchers totaling $40,540.21. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Councilmember Van.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to legislation, and we have none. So next up is new business. Council President Albertson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, February 3rd, at 6 p.m., the Committee of the Whole will be meeting. There is actually something that needs to be corrected on the calendar. The meeting will be in the Council Conferencing Center and via video conference. One item on the agenda, allocation of lodging tax funding for 2025.
Okay.
And then at 7 o'clock on the same day, regular council meeting here in council chambers and via video conference. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Rivera.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Transportation Committee will be meeting on Monday, February 3rd at 5 p.m. in the council conference room and via video conference. There are 4 items on the agenda. First is the supplemental agreement number 3 to CAG 2315, professional services agreement with Transpo Group USA Incorporated for construction management services for the South 7th Street Corridor project. Second, Renton Avenue South 300-day closure extension request. Third, agreement with Mott McDonald for engineering services for dredging. And finally, an agreement with Mott McDonald for engineering services, dock, and ramp. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Prince.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Perez.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Van.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Utilities Committee has a meeting on February 3rd, 2025, Monday at 4 p.m. The location is at the council conference room or via video conference. We have one item, which is emerging issues in utilities, and under that, it's cart tagging project. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. What's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Council President Albertson, that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We're adjourned.